Hey everyone, this is Mike from Mike's Do It Yourself. Today I want to show you what to do when your display is constantly flashing and what it might be. Now as of right now, it's not currently flashing. I don't have solar going to the solar panel, or just a minute amount because it's under a cover right now. But once this gets about 14 volts, the display will just constantly flash and then it'll cut out. So it'll flash, cut out, flash, cut out. How I determined what it was, I went ahead and opened the back of this up. So I just took these screws out here. So on the back of the solar controller, you're going to have your battery primary, your positive, your negative, and then you're going to have your solar panel positive and your negative. Now, the current flow, or what is going to happen, is that you're going to have power coming from your solar panel, and then your solar controller will read what your battery is, and then it will adjust the voltage and the amperage that needs to go to your battery. So what I'm getting currently, the battery is reading 12.9 volts DC, and then the solar charger, or the solar panel, is reading about 12.9 volts. Now what I was getting when the screen was flashing, like I said, it's not doing it currently at the moment, but this was reading about 20 volts and it was going down to 19, 18, 17, 16, and it just kept going like up and down, and that's the solar panel voltage. And then the battery voltage was varying anywhere from 15 to 12, and it just kept going like 15, 14, 13, and it would just keep going back and forth. So those were the readings that I was getting when the display was flashing. So I went to the front of the travel trailer and I did install a lithium battery instead of the old lead acid battery. So I thought that might be an issue for why the solar controller was going in and out. And then I did install a battery disconnect on the solar charger, or the battery cable that goes from the solar charger to the battery. So this disconnect is the battery disconnect that goes to the circuit breaker box inside the travel trailer, and this one is the disconnect that goes between the solar controller and the battery. So the next step of diagnosing, I went ahead and measured the voltage, or the voltage drop, if there was any, between the disconnects, and it was just showing a fluctuation of up and down, basically, on both of these. So I went ahead and went under the trailer. Else that might be causing it. So I went under the trailer and I found a circuit breaker that was resettable, and it was this one right here. And so this one, I took it out and it's rated for 12 volts and it's rated for 30 amps. So the amperage I wasn't worried about, because usually at the most the solar charger is going to recharge your battery at under 10 amps. So I figured the voltage might be an issue because this one's only rated for 12 volts. And lithium batteries charge at a higher voltage. So you can get anywhere from 14 to 14.6, even 15 if it's trying to do a charge from being discharged, or mostly discharged. There is a way that you can check these just to see if they're opened or closed. You just want to check resistance between the two. But unless you put the voltage across it, it's not going to reset a high enough voltage. So you have to put a high enough voltage across this to have it reset, and then it's just going to open and then close again. So what I ended up doing, I bought another circuit breaker that was rated for 12 volts to 24 volts. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this with the other circuit breaker. So this is my new circuit breaker. This one is rated 12 volts to 24 volts. It's 50 volt DC max, it looks like on here. And it's rated for 30 amps. So I'll change that out and make sure that I don't have any flashing display on my solar controller. And the way I diagnosed this issue, I went ahead and disconnected the cable that was going from, or the wiring that was going from the solar controller to the battery, and then I ended up getting steady readings when I did voltage across the solar controller. So I knew there was an issue within this line going from the solar controller to the battery. I went ahead and disconnected power from everything, so shouldn't have any issues about getting shocked on this. Disconnect it. Now the copper side says BATT or BAT. So the copper side says BAT, and that's the wire coming from the battery. And then the other side goes to the solar controller. So we'll keep this the same way. Go this way with it. Cover on next. And then this one was the one from the battery. It's the bottom one. Controller. we'll just tighten those down. Okay, once those are nice and tight, I did buy some liquid electrical tape, so I will just apply that to the top of the nut. It'll just help keep the dirt and corrosion away from it. Go ahead and close this up a little bit. And there are cutouts on the top side of this, so it pushes out a little bit. It's nice and sealed up. So here is the old circuit breaker. And like I said, this is resettable. It says 30 amp, 12 volt. So go ahead and turn everything back on. So as soon as you change out that circuit breaker, you should get a steady supply of amperage. You should have steady voltage going in and out of your battery and your solar panel. Let's read 13. And there's no fluctuation there. So that's what you want. So you should have a steady display on your solar controller. Well, I hope this has been helpful. This has been Mike from Mike's Do It Yourself. Good luck on your next home or automotive project. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment.